Rock and roll Chicago. Rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here out around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie.
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. How are you today, Ray?
I'm doing great. I'm sweating like a pig.
Are you?
Yeah,
Come on in the air conditioned.
we're here at the studio here at the Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, and the air conditioning hasn't been installed yet. It's a little toasty in here.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little sweating never hurt nobody.
Not really, but I'd rather be sweating than freezing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Most definitely. So I don't want to complain too much because people say, yeah, well, wait a few months and when the snow's on the ground.
Yeah. No, thanks. I'll wait.
When it starts getting cold, you know where I'm going? I'm going south of 30.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there still may be snowing south of 30
I'll just keep going. Just keep going.
until it stops snowing.
Until it stops snowing and it's warm again.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what a coincidence you said that.
It usually is a quinky dink.
Yes. I think you planned this.
I do.
But we're speaking today with South of 30 band.
You're kidding.
Nope.
Look at that. See how that worked out?
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
But so we talked with Kevin and Valerie Gardner and George Shulock, excuse me, George, and Patrick Moore of South of 30 Band. And we talked to them, and it seems like some great guys.
Yes.
And gals.
Yep. And they got some great stories and some great insight into their band.
Yes, they do. Let's find out about them and let them tell the story.
Let them tell the story. Away we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today we're speaking with Valerie Gardner, Kevin Gardner, George Shulock, and Patrick Moore, better known as South of 30 Band. How you guys doing today?
Guys,
Fantastic.
Thank you guys, Ray. Paul, thank you for having us out.
Now, I want to make sure you guys are comfortable because we're just north of 30 here. You're all right, right?
We're okay with that.
Okay, good.
We're okay with that.
We're on the north side of the street anyway.
Well, I think
I live north of 30.
That's north of 30. So he's always going to be the outskirt. He's our outlier, put that way. The only one that, and I'll be honest with you, once again, I just want to thank you guys. I just can't even tell you how much we appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming out.
No problem. Thanks for coming out. So South of 30 would I mean, off the top of my head, I would think, oh, it's a country band. But it's not necessarily true, is it?
It is not.
No.
No, and the reasoning for the name is we truly live south of 30. But everyone in the band at that time was actually 50 plus. We'll leave it at 50 plus.
Okay.
And so there's a little saying.
So you were north of 50.
Yeah. I am north of 50. He's going to be 50 in drummer George.
Yeah, I got the next one.
Yeah, he'll be 50.
I have 6 months left, so.
Yeah, so he's our youngster in the band. And so we started out as South of 30. We are South 30. And we really started focusing on the Americana sound. And a lot of the Americana sound came from country. It came from folk. It came from that genre of, a little bit of rock, a little bit of country, a little bit of folk. And probably the last year we've tried to gravitate who we are. Instead of labeling it's only this, we've had to branch out a little bit and make songs our own. So South of 30 has really almost become still an Americana band. And we're red, white, and blue through and through. And we do country, and we do folk, and we do rock, but we do it our way. And so South of 30 has almost become its own genre of Americana music. So,
well, I noticed you do some Johnny Cash, you do some ZZ Top, right? But all the way to the Beatles, right?
We do.
Yeah.
And people ask us that 'cause we love Beatles. It gets people moving. And though they're a band from England, it's still an American music.
Oh, sure. Sure it is.
And, can you really put a one band or it has to sound like this or it has to, I just don't think so. They were part of American culture and I believe they still are. Okay. And some people like. It's one thing for us as musicians to like music. It's another thing for other people that are paying to see you play like music. So a lot of times we talk to people. What do you like? Every time we're playing out, they'll say, play some Beatles. So we just start playing it, and we start taking it on as our own. Right. And we do one song from the Beatles that also Godsmack does.
Come Together.
Come Together.
Come Together, right.
And I'll do a drop D, so it gets that real kind of beefy sound. And we do it our way, so it's almost a heavier Americana rock version of that song.
You said drop D. You Kevin, you play guitar then, right?
I play bass.
Oh, you play bass.
Yeah.
I see. Patrick,
I play guitar.
You're the guitar player. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I stay with the standard tuning. Drop D just confused me, man.
And we don't want to confuse Pat. He's very easy to confuse.
No, I'm with you, Pat. I know what you're going through.
Yeah. And I play Lakelands. And my last
nice basses.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
And my buddy got me my last one. It was one of the last ones left at Lakeland. I got the USA version. And the jazz bass. And I asked them, could you put that drop D on? And they did. And the best thing that's ever happened to me.
And it's right on the money, too, man.
Right on the money.
You put the tuner on it after he drops it, it's a perfect D.
It's a perfect D.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we use it quite often. We use it for...
Come Together.
We use it for Come Together. We also use it for one of the slower songs that we do by Fleetwood Mac.
Gold Dust.
Was that?
Gold Dust.
Yeah, Gold Dust Woman. And it's just easy for me to...
And for the first 2 bars of any song that comes after him.
Yeah. And one of our original songs, we have one of our original songs called Wild in the Streets, and I use the drop D on that. So I wrote it in D, so I use the drop D on that.
Okay, so now how many original songs do you play? How many How many do you do throughout the night?
Not many, because if we're going out and someone's hiring us to play dance music, dance that Americana, we really don't. We'll ask them if we can play an original. And the last place we played my last original, Wild in the Streets, at Greg's place. We asked them, and it was fantastic. So we want to start getting it after this week. We're going to take a little time off, or put this way, not get booked every week, and take more time. We probably have like 4 or 5 right now ready to come out, but we need time to work on that, because right now we never play the same set. We probably have 120 songs we work in our repertoire, and every time we play, it's a new set. Every single time. We never play the same set.
Wow.
Never.
Well, how did the band get started? And how long have you been together?
This band, what you see, it's 1 year this week.
Oh, really?
What you see right here. But we have 177 years of band behind us.
And we've been playing music together since
40 years.
The mid-70s.
Yeah. So we've been together forever.
Yeah.
And then we've been married for almost 30 years. We've been doing music together for 30 years. South of 30 is almost...
That's him and Val.
Yes.
Not one of the guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Val is a fine young lady. Thank you, Ray. A fine young lady. That's my wife. And so...
And the keyboard player in the band.
Yeah, she plays keys.
Yes.
And we started out where she was just the background, play some background noise. And now she does leads. Well, she's been playing for 40... Yeah, she started
only 29.
40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Right before we got here.
Apparently, 30 years of marriage hasn't gotten that good, right?
Yeah, you need to keep tabs on how much I owe you. Right. Thanks, Ray. And what we're trying to do is the last year, South of 30 in itself has been together for 2 years.
Okay.
And we've had to find people that believe in the vision. And if you come in with your own vision, it won't work with us. We've had 8 people in the band. And so we're just at that point where if you're not sold out to what we're doing, where we're going, then you probably won't fit. And we never really kick people out. They just kind of leave on their own because we keep doing what our vision is, the venues we play, the song selection. And some people just don't want to do what we do.
Not 8 people at once, though.
Yes, 8 people at one time. Yes, sir. And
Must be in a horn band. Another horn band. Right?
we have pictures to prove it. We do, Paul.
Horn bands rock.
They do. They do. We actually 2 weeks ago we had someone that plays horn that heard us. It's like, we would love to play with you, and I'm like, let me think about that.
It's in Chicago, man.
Let me get back to you. It's like, if we do that one Chicago song, we'll hire you for that one song. Yeah. So it's 2 years we've been together, South of 30. The 1 year we use some other players, and they really did not want to play out, and that was my concern. And then I'm like, well, me and Val are going to go in a different direction. We're going to take South 30 and we want to play out, and we want to be a working band. And I have a notebook of songs, and the other ones just didn't want to do originals. And we want to end up being a 50-50 to, like our other bands, we were all in 100% all original bands. So this is our first time actually doing covers, which is kind of funny. And then once everyone got through, what you see here has been one solid year now. When COVID hit,
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd you survive COVID?
we played where no one else would. And so all these bands wouldn't play, and we said we would. And the owners are like, we just can't really pay you. We said, pay us what you can. And we all work jobs. So it's like, well, let's work together. You pay us whatever you can. We'll bring friends and a family, and let's get to where it's a working relationship. So that's what we do with all the owners. We just say, what can you afford? And I know other bands don't want to hear that, but for us, for working people, we feel right now through the COVID, they need help right now. I'd rather see them open and not us take the higher value. It's coming. But right now, we just felt to work and help. Our whole goal of this year, you guys, was to help the owners get back on their feet. And that's what we did. So we kept getting calls and offers. We've been playing this year, I think, how many, George? 50?
50, yeah.
And now it's all coming back to us. I mean, karma's coming back to us.
Well, you know,
We can't get a
they
week
remember
off.
that. You were good to them back then.
Yeah.
They're going to
Oh,
come
we
back
love-
to
yeah.
you,
Sure.
and they're going to say, hey, come on back and play. And
They are, Ray. They really are. And we love all the owners. We've respected them. We always say, please tip your bartenders and waitresses. And we bring our friends, and we have quite a large following. And we make sure, please take care of them. And the owners are like, every time you're here, man, we make more money off you guys. And we're clowns. I mean, we have a good time. We don't play just music.
I'm the serious one.
Really?
Please shut his mic off now. I know it's going to happen. So what happens, we go in when COVID hit, and we said, let's do something different. Let's reach out to the people. Let's reach out to the owners, reach out to everyone, and have more of a working relationship. And that really started us on where we are today, is the working relationship, loving our people. If you see any of our posts, it's like love and blessings. We thank you guys so much. We truly appreciate one person if you come out and see us. We truly we appreciate you guys. We appreciate people come out and see us, the owners. We're just so honored to do what we have been doing for 1 year. So it's gone from 2 years to 1 year with this band, and we've been playing for one solid year now.
So you said you've been playing, you two have been together 30 years. Yeah. So did you start out playing guitar, or did you?
I started playing piano.
Oh, okay.
I started out as a piano player, went to trumpet, and then to bass. And for some reason, bass is just, I could sit down right now on a piano and just have a good time with it. But she is the structure one. This is what you do, and this is how you do it. Though I know the chords, she started at Oregon, and she's incredibly intelligent. She actually has a master's degree. She has a master's, but a bachelor's of science in mathematics.
Oh, okay.
That math and music, they always go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we both have master's degrees, so we both went ahead and got our education degrees. So not only it started out, I was a musician when I found her.
And who found who?
was she like a stray or something?
Well, I guess the thing is, I think we found each other because of music, because I played a lot in my earlier years in churches. And so I would, I answered a want ad, if that tells you how long ago that was. And I was playing this little church in Hammond, and I met Kevin there, and there were like only 20 people there. And he's like, I'm going to marry the piano player. And that's how we met.
Hair down to here.
And I told him, dude, she's way out of your league, man.
I'm like, get that piano player.
Well, I was
He's
gonna,
like, no, you're not.
I was going to ask you if you played for years, you probably played in church then, right?
Yeah, I started probably like 7 or 8. I would play by ear, and then my parents, said, well, let's get you some lessons. And so started playing in church. But I think where I really learned the most was in high school, in choir class, because the teacher would be like, well, who can play piano? Because I can't. And so they just made you. And that, you have to read, and you have to read notes and structure and chords and just everything. So that's where I probably learned the most. And then I continued in college at Purdue with Purdue Musical Organizations, played for them and sang for them. And then once got out of there, I played for a lot of pit bands and theaters and sang and did a lot of theater work. And then we met, and, just wherever we could play music, we did.
So you read music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
Y'all do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For us, at the last 30 years, and one of the reasons, believe it or not, we're Hammond boys. I was born in Gary, raised in Hammond, but we're both Hammond boys. Yeah. And so when we found each other, we've just always played in bands together. My first band, I was in 6th grade playing trumpet, a 25 or 64. That was the very first band I was ever in. And then we started playing together, and it ended up being to where we've always been in bands together. But us together have only played our own original music or with someone else that writes. We were in a band, probably the first big band was Frozen Tear in the 80s. We were even actually on the Loop used to play our music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jonathan Brandmeier in his show, he'd always pick one of our songs to play.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we went from that, and then we were in a band called 3 Days Down, all original music. Mm-hmm. And then our next one was the next one after that.
Did you do a lot of recording then?
We actually have we're in ARS Studios in Elsa.
Right.
Now, this is old school, 2-inch tape, 24 tracks.
We still have that.
Yeah.
Do you remember, what was his name?
Gary Cobb.
Gary Cobb. Do you remember
Gary Cobb?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Gary. I remember the studio, but
yeah, and we still have those tapes. I should have brought one for you guys.
Oh,
I'll make sure I get you guys one. And it's still, we play that once in a while. We're pulling some of those songs out, and we're going to start putting in our repertoire.
Yeah, we're going to start using at least 2 or 3 of them.
They're just fantastic songs. And, here 20, 30 years later, we listen to them. We're all like, oh my God, that's great
That's so
music.
cool.
right.
And so for us,
Good music never dies. Right?
Yeah.
it doesn't. And then I'm a heavy metal guy. And so I played a lot of heavy metal. I played in a band called Circus. Don't shoot me. Please don't throw stuff at me. We're crazy. We're Circus, and we're crazy. But all original. We played all the way down to Atlanta, so we played up here all the time, all around Chicago. And then I got into a Christian band called Firescape.
So Patrick, tell us your story. You've been playing for I'm taking almost as many years, right?
I originally started on drums when I was 9 or 10, but then I heard Smoke on the Water, and it completely changed everything. So I started playing guitar when I was about 10 or 11 years old, and it's pretty much where I've been. I mean, I've still played a lot of drums. Like Kevin and George, and Val, we've all come up playing in with praise teams at our churches. And one of the places I was playing guitar at, our drummer moved, and our worship leader was like, "Oh man, what am I going to do now?" I was like, "Dude, I play drums." So at one of them, I wound up being our drummer for like 7 years while I was still playing guitar in another band. So it's been a little bit of everything, but my money is definitely invested in the guitar stuff, and it's
Right.
I call myself a guitar player.
He is.
Yeah. What kind of guitar you playing? What's your favorite one? What's your go-to guitar?
It depends on what day it is. I've got
This is an adult item.
very new Les Paul standard that I just, that's why I was mentioning Sweetwater. They love us.
Yeah.
I just bought this about 3 or 4 months ago, and I've been playing it almost exclusively. But I've also got a older Stratocaster that I really like and play that a lot. So it's usually between those two. I got several others at home, but they stay in the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you play through?
I have a vintage Marshall JMP 50 watt half stack that I use if we're like outside. For the inside with the smaller stuff, Kevin picked up a 40 watt Marshall DSL amplifier that I use, and it's perfect for like smaller rooms and for like we played outside, but in a smaller kind of area outside just last weekend, and that amp was perfect for it. And it's an all tube amp, and it sounds very similar to my Beast.
Well, I told him, I said, as we get older, you guys understand it. It's harder to carry
Yeah.
equipment.
Travel light, my friend.
Travel, brother.
That's the way I go.
Travel light. And so I said, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll buy you that brand new Fender. Fender has a really nice, where they had like the old,
Yeah, I don't remember which one it
the
was.
lead one. I can't remember what it was, the model, what it was. I'm like, I'll buy that. It's light. You'll get some of the tones for some of the country. He's like, no. Marshall only. So Marshall. So we ended up going with the Marshall, and he gets some really good clean tones out of it. So it's fantastic.
Well, something else I just got, like in the last couple of weeks, I went back to Sweetwater again. And yeah, I got a Boss GT1000 multi-effects processor that I'm still kind of trying to get.
Still toying with?
What's that?
You're still toying with it?
He is.
Definitely got a learning curve.
Paul, I tell you though, brother, that this man in the beginning of the band was said, I'm not using no pedals. I'm clean. Plug and play. And through him checking and us just encouraging him, he'll be fine. There's some new stuff out there that's easy to work with.
With the wide range of styles that we're doing, I need to have some effects.
Right.
If I'm playing it myself, I'm a blues guitarist.
Well,
Plug straight in and
see, if you go back, which I think you're kind of in my school of thought, or kind of the old school of thought. Guitar players used to plug the guitar in, plug it into the amp, and play.
Yeah.
And it was the amps that gave you the sound.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, now it's the pedals that give you the sound. They give you so many different sounds.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm still using the effects mostly just for like some reverb and a little bit of delay. I'd rather get the distortion, the crunch out of my amp.
Right.
So I'm trying to stay with that. Just like I said, though, we're doing such a wide range of music now that you got to have some kind of be able to step on a switch and get a different tone.
Right.
Because I'm also going from acoustic to electric sometimes too.
So let's hear from George here.
Georgie.
George is a new guy.
The new guy.
Yeah. So you've been with the band a year.
Yes. Actually, technically, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, before COVID hit.
Oh, okay. And tell us your backstory a little bit.
Okay, well, I've always loved music.
Were you a guitar player and a turn playing drums?
No, actually, when I was younger, I've always loved music. My mom got me started with like the Motown and the Beatles.
Sure.
And I actually love John Denver too.
Right.
And anything like that until one day she said, you got to come upstairs and look at these weird guys on TV. They're wearing makeup. And it was Kiss. End of story right there.
Sure.
So
Is that why you're in makeup?
that's right.
It is.
That's right.
We hope
You
you
know.
guys weren't offended.
No,
So
not
if
at all.
anything gets on, the table, we'll wipe it off.
Yeah. So ever since then, it was Kiss. And then I got into Cheap Trick. And then I got into Styx. And I also love Alice Cooper. I love a lot of theatrical bands.
Right.
But with drums, I've always loved the drums. I've always wanted to play them when I was younger. And then when I was in fourth grade, I did start with the school band for about 2 years. And it was just the regular snare drum. And then by sixth grade, they started me on the full kit. But then I lost interest in it. I was going into teenage years and, I thought I knew everything, which I knew nothing. And then it wasn't until I hit my 20s where I was like, you know what? I want to start a band. So like 92, my first band, we were called Brigade and we played nothing but original material. And we actually recorded in my grandparents' basement. We called it the grandparents' studio with the Tascam, 8-track Tascam.
Yeah.
I still have the cassette. Everybody else lost theirs. I still have mine. Yeah. And then after that, I just took like 10 years off. I just really didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to go back to school and I got my degree in graphic design. And I started doing that until I moved to the Lake of Four Seasons because I grew up in Highland, Indiana. Okay. I moved to the Lake of Four Seasons and I started playing with a church band. One day, Kevin and Val walked in and we started playing.
You guys make the rounds of the churches or what?
Well,
We just say, hey.
the funny story is I go up to introduce myself and Kevin goes, are you in a band? I said, no. And he goes, why? I went, Oh. He goes, "Do you want to join my band?" I went, "All right."
Sure.
And
Sure, why not?
Paul, right? He's got a perfect meter.
Well, thank you.
It's a perfect meter, and we get locked in. And you know how it is. When you find those guys, you don't let loose of those guys.
Yeah, he can look at me. I can look at him. I know exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah, we laugh so hard. And at the end, he has to show you his kiss room. Unbelievable.
Yes.
He has a kiss room.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They've always been my favorite.
Not where he kisses.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Oh, I thought it was like,
they're actually locked up.
$1 at boost.
Yeah.
And he's standing there, $1.
You remember those, huh, Ray?
Yeah, I do.
I think we all have those stories, don't we? Is that kind of show? Oh, my wife's here. It's okay.
So you lived in Highland, and you moved to Lake at Four Seasons,
Yes.
and is that where you're still from, or where?
Yes, I still live at the Lake Four Seasons.
Yeah. Now you guys do shows out there? They have shows out there.
We did, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the coolest, you could pull up on Facebook and look at the picture. It was just walls and walls of just people. And right over where we played, there's a cloud and there's a rainbow. You got to look at it. It's the craziest picture ever. It's a rainbow coming right on top of us.
Really?
I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. And
Wow.
it just, if you pull it up on Facebook, you'd see it. It's unbelievable. It's kind of the coolest picture ever. We actually opened the concert series there a couple weeks ago for Lake Four Seasons.
What other shows do you have coming up?
Oh,
You said you were taking some time off, but I'm sure you got some things lined
We
up.
do. We have this week we're at Bugaboos outside. The week after that, we are at Greg's Place on Friday night for bike night. Saturday.
Where's Greg's place at?
It's in downtown Cherville.
Oh, okay.
Right, old Cherville downtown.
Right, okay.
Then that Saturday, we're back out in DeMott doing a car show, which is going to be a fantastic show. And what we're doing is there's a car show, we'll do an hour show, and then after the car show, we're going to put on an hour concert for them. And then next week, the week following that, we're at Bank Shots, do another bike night. And then after that, Val.
After that, we're at Catch out in Maryville.
Catch out in Maryville.
Last weekend of July.
And then
August 7th, we're doing a benefit out in Miller Beach.
Miller Beach.
So you guys keep them busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually completely booked like almost every weekend until October. Kevin says we're going to take time off.
And then somebody calls.
But then somebody calls. Exactly. Pat's exactly right. Just like we were supposed to take one weekend in July off, and somebody called and said, we had a band cancel. Can you do this? And Kevin's like, okay. So, yeah. But it's a blast. And I think playing out every weekend for the last year has made us who we are. I don't think you know who you are when you're practicing. I think you know who you are when you're playing out. So yeah, we're booked all the way through October.
So you guys booked the band, or you booked the band, Kevin, or
Yeah.
Val does too, or
I'm the guy, but she is the keeping things in order. I'm not an orderly guy. Normally what we do is we just have people contact us, or I reach out to a couple places and I just throw that out there. I'll just say, hey, here's our website. Go to our website, check out our videos. If you're interested, give us a call. And they just do. So there's been a few. I think there's one we had to cancel because of tornadoes. Mm-hmm. But outside that, we normally fill in for cancellations. And it was a week or two ago when the tornadoes come through.
Right.
I'm like, my kids were just, they're freaked out. So I family first. Mm-hmm.
Well, then you're not really that dedicated to the music.
No, Ray, there's part of me that still needs some work, brother. Most definitely. But we're always honored when people do reach out to us. I don't want to beat people up, but what we've been talking about doing is going to different places. It's one thing to send an email or send a letter. They don't know who you are. We talked to some of the parks departments. They're like, Kevin, one person contacted us and they're like, do you understand there's 200 some people, 200 different bands that contact us throughout the year. So it just kind of goes into a file. So for us, we like going to places. So if we're going to play there, we'll go eat there. We'll go have a drink there. We'll go hang out there. Or I know a lot of people, or I know some business people that know people. So like, hey, give Kevin a call. need to have them guys out. They're hilarious. And they're good players too. Paul,
do you guys do a comedy show as well?
Do.
Yeah.
We seriously do. Our last one, we were at.
You tell dad jokes or what?
Yes. Like the younger people.
Bad
like,
dad jokes.
Bad dad jokes, Paul. And so what ends up happening is we seriously, we talk to everyone. And we're just ourselves. So the show consists of humor. So sometimes I'll tell a story before a song, and sometimes we go right into it. But there's always something. So if I see someone sitting there, there's always that communication with the people, and they just love it. And they normally, people stay through our whole shows. They'll stay for the full 3 hours or 4 hours. They rarely.
Well, see, I believe that besides the music, there's an art to talking between songs.
There is.
I mean, you play a couple, but I hope you play a couple of songs in a row and then talk. Yes,
we do.
Because that's to me is 101, you know.
Right.
But there's an art to talking between songs and talking to the crowd and working the crowd.
Yeah. We had our last show. It was got to be the funniest gig
it was hilarious.
we've ever had.
Yeah.
For some reason, they're very vocal with us. I mean, very, very vocal.
Very engaged.
Yeah, very engaged on every single song. They're engaged, and so like they're just talking between the songs, and they're just amazed because we're still talking and playing, hanging out. And like obviously buying us drinks and cigars, and it was a funny show because we had everyone from 18-year-olds all the way up to
83
80.
asking for Nazareth.
And so true story. George, tell the story. It's hilarious.
That is a true story. We'll take like a 5 or 10 minute break in between, our sets. And there were these older ladies. They had to have been like late 70s, early 80s. And I go over and talk with them, and I'm like, are you enjoying the show?
Like the older ones.
They said, yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing. No.
So, and they go, oh, we love you guys, And I said, is there anything you want us to play? And they're like, well, how about Nazareth, Hair of the Dog? And I went,
like, what?
I went, And then she went, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. I went, Kevin, come here. You gotta come over here.
This. So we promise them if they come to the next show that they come out.
You thought you meant Jesus of Nazareth, didn't you?
I was like, I meant Jesus.
But that's the beautiful thing about music. It's so universal.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, you could have anybody, like we would see these people, we would think, okay, Sinatra, Dean Martin or something, but you hear Nazareth.
Yeah.
And to me, that is extremely cool because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of music. It could be heavy metal, hard rock, pop, jazz. Everybody has a connection with music. Music saved me. If it wasn't for music, I don't know where I'd be today. And I love it to death. And this is the reason I was put on this earth.
Yeah, and at that same place, I like bringing out my upright. We call her Big Bertha. So I play double bass. And so outside the double bass, we have acoustic.
Man, that's that traveling light.
Oh, brother.
Come on now.
man.
It's beautiful.
That is not light. That is not light.
No.
And it's just fantastic, though. I just love playing that. I had it completely redone, put a pickup in it. And I ended up going with strings that could bow or Picasso with it.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it's just a fantastic bass. And when we take that out, people are like, they won't touch it. And they want to, seriously, they take pictures with it. And so if we're doing acoustics that we like, I play Ibanez acoustic.
Well, Bertha comes out for the Elvis Presley
stuff.
Yeah.
And we just have a blast. So if people say, hey, can you bring Big Bertha? I'll bring Big Bertha out.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed on your website that sometimes you play full band and sometimes you play acoustic band.
Correct.
Right. So tell us about that. I mean, what is it? Just depend what the club calls for that day?
It really is. Some clubs that as you guys know, they'll put you in this little corner, and it's like, all right, this is what you have.
Right.
And as a full band, I'm not bringing my 18-inch subs and my 15s, my 12s. So we went out and bought a Bose L1S1. And what ended up happening is we said, well, let's do something different. Since we're south of 30 and we're that Americana genre, what's the greatest thing when we look at Americana music? They always have acoustic bass or acoustic guitar or more of that kind of stripped down sound. So some places we just will strictly do a stripped down sound. As a matter of fact, Bugaboos is one of those. We really enjoy it. And they like having duos and trios, but I talk them into it. It's like what George brings out is a cajon.
Right.
So he'll bring a cajon, and then we'll bring our acoustics, and Bells will bring the keys.
Who do you love? Who do you love?
that stripped down sound, you guys, is just fantastic. You know, it's a very clean. There are certain songs I feel we should play with acoustic only, and then there are the big shows where we just, you know,
Well, the
fully
acoustic stuff feels a lot more
all the way to the wall, right?
Yes, all the way to the wall.
Well, if you get far enough south of 30, all of a sudden you start hearing a little bit of that banjo coming too.
And you're gonna crack up, Ray. Val plays banjo, harmonica. What else do you play? Accordion, all on
the keys.
On the keys.
Nice.
Little mandolin sometimes.
Yeah, mandolin. So and I just bought a mandolin.
And I do actually have a banjo, but I'm afraid to bring it out.
Yeah, so our next step when we take this little break, maybe over Christmas, as long as
We're going to learn a couple.
yeah, I'll learn the mandolin, and he'll work on that banjo. And
Man of Constant Sorrow on a banjo.
Yeah, we do Man of Constant Sorrow. Hilarious. It's a great song.
Yeah.
And, you know, for us, we really do look at where we play and what would go over well with that. If we miss it, we miss it. But we're willing to take that chance. And so if we have to do a duo or a trio, or we go into just strip down, or we'll just bring everything out, we feel that we can play anywhere. And that's, which we have.
That makes you versatile, right? Very.
And Paul, and you guys have been around forever too. You understand this, being versatile.
14 years.
Right, yeah. Paul.
Everything's 14 years.
14 years.
I remember seeing his band when I was in high school in the
70s. Yes, right. 14. Yeah, this is really not white. I dye it white.
Dye this silver.
Yeah.
As soon as the brown starts coming in.
Look sharp. I hate that brown. I like the white. So yeah, we try and be as versatile as possible.
So get back to your own stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, who does the writing?
Mostly Kevin with us.
Yeah. And then do you bring the whole song to everybody? Or do you bring an idea and everybody contributes?
Normally I bring the whole song.
Yeah.
It's just better that way. And I'm going to tell the story. And so I had this one idea. And so I brought it, and Val's like, oh my God, that's just, oh my God. So we bring it down, and Pat's like, he's getting nervous. He knows I'm going to throw him under the bus for a second. And
Sorry, he can't hear you anyway.
I'm used to it, man.
yeah, he's used to it. So anyways, like if I bring like an idea and it's not pretty much solid, Pat, he's got a fantastic song out that that he wrote himself. I'm trying to get him to play with our band, and he doesn't give himself enough credit. But he wanted to put a blues riff on it, and so me and George are like, isn't that just like a standard blues riff? Yeah, but I've been working on this blues riff, but it's a blues riff. And so I'm like, let's shelf that one. So it's easier. I'll like, if we think of something, I will seriously write down within sometimes minutes, I have a song done. Like he'll come up with the drum part, and I'll just put a bass part to it, and then idea will pop in, and I write the lyrics right then and there.
Like I just can't write lyrics. I sound like Dr. Seuss if I try to write lyrics.
Yeah. And I always write a whole.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some rockin'
Sam I am.
And whatever seriously pops in my head for that song, it just, there's only one time when Val said, you are not using that song. So it was called Crack.
You can't say that on radio.
You can't see that on radio.
Don't say anything on podcast.
On the podcast, okay.
Well, let me add a little something to that too. I think I'm not very creative because I'm not. I mean, I love to play. I love to create within that, but I could never write. I think it's fascinating though. We'll go down to the basement, and sometimes I occasionally get aggravated with the boys because, they get off track. But in that off trackness is the creativity. And like those three will just start playing something, and I'll have no idea what they're doing. And they just get out the phone and record it. Mm-hmm. And then later on, Kevin will take that riff and he'll write something, a whole song to it. And it's amazing though, that out of that 2 minutes of goofing around can come something fabulous.
And so that's why sometimes when you're playing every week and more than twice a week, it's hard to get that creative because we do change every single song list. Mm-hmm. We get very creative with our song list too. Who's going to sing what? Who's going to open up to what? Well, these people are more heavy up front, soft in the back. So we create each list with the people that they actually have there. So that's why we look at different songs. Who's going to sing? Like, who's going to open up the show? Because we all four of us sing leads.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next is who does most of the singing?
Equally.
That's split pretty
It's split with us. Val is the best singer. But like for us, we try and do like 9, 9, and 9 for a set, you know, and then George has 2 or 3 that he does. He sings Sugar, Sugar. It's hilarious. It's like, bubblegum, are you serious? And then we play and everyone's like, yeah, Sugar, Sugar. So it's really kind of cute. So he does that. And
some Kiss? You sing some Kiss?
We haven't really tried any Kiss just yet, you know, because we're Americana. We're trying to stick with, you know, that particular genre, but we're also trying to focus on writing original material.
Yeah, so it's not that we don't want to use any one song or any one group until we feel that it fits in with what we're doing. So we're not opposed. Okay, what's the song I put in for this week? The funny.
Oh, so it's called "I Don't Look Good Naked Anymore."
It's hilarious.
And it's hilarious. And
none of us do.
It's
yeah.
It very much fits
that's
where we're all at in life.
Well, but that's the cool thing about this band is you can put stuff in there, and it's not outside of the realm of what your band does because we do everything, man. People ask me, what do you guys do? I'll tell them we do everything from Johnny Cash to Johnny Cougar to Johnny Rotten.
Well, someone asked us.
There you go. Oh, that's good.
Well, someone asked us to do "You Dropped the Bomb on Me," so we did it.
Yeah.
And so
Never played it before, but we did it.
Once in a while, if we see the girls want to get up and dance, we will seriously pull that out.
Yeah.
And Val does boo, and he does some on the guitar, boo, and it's a funny sing. And so I'm out there singing, "You dropped the bomb on me,
baby."
And so to see us play "Drop the Bomb on Me" it's worth every penny. For us, it's hilarious.
But usually that's after everybody's had a few drinks.
Well, the first time we played
A few of
it,
them.
we played it live during a show. We had never played it before. We just started playing it, man.
Yeah, and on the original, we don't think about, okay, we'll choose a genre. We don't. We just play or we just write, and that's been the beautiful thing because like the one song I just wrote, "Wild in the Streets," Belle's like, that's kind of like an 80s rock. And I'm like, but that's, that's us. You know, how could it not come out of us?
Right.
You know?
Right. If it comes out of you, then it's part of you or part of,
Exactly, Paul. So we just, whatever comes out for that time or whatever we're thinking about or whatever we're feeling, that's just what we write about. Right. And that just has been fitting us very well. But we do like anything that is more drum and bass. To give that more of that groove, and then he could pretty much do anything he wants on top. Once me and George get that groove going, everything else just falls into place. Because that's the key factor is that you get a good rhythm section, and it's easier to just put things on top of the rhythm.
Sure. Well, you're the backbone, right?
We're the backbone.
Here we are.
Yeah, so you guys can do whatever you want. Have fun! So that's kind of how we do. So thank you for that question.
And the drummer drives the bus. That's what I say.
Yes.
Always.
And it's I've always looked at Kevin because he always gives me the signals like, okay, sometimes here is the part. This is where we do the breakdown. Okay, the ending is coming up, and he always gives me the nod. So we're always in tune with one another when we're doing.
That's important.
When we're performing. But also, I think the material that we're playing, it's amazing how we can touch it just, even if it's just one person, just by that one song, and they go, I haven't heard this in 20 years. Oh my gosh, I forgot how good this song was. Like we do Eastbound and Down from Smokey and the Bandit.
Right.
And people,
they love it.
They hear it and they go, I can't believe they're playing this. Yeah. And then they're dancing in their seats and they're just loving it. And I think that's what's important is they're hearing these things. They're going back to the time where, oh my gosh, I remember where I was and what I was doing at this time. And it's that good feeling. It's what music brings, the feeling that you get from music.
Even when we do the slower stuff, we've had people stand in front of us and just bawling, crying. So when we do the slow stuff, we believe we really are emotional.
Tennessee Whiskey is always good for one of these.
Yeah, I love singing Tennessee Whiskey. Yeah. That's probably my favorite song that I enjoy singing because you
sound like you have a deep voice, kind of like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, it is. I'm more of that baritone, and I'll be honest with you, we all bring that personality out too. We just don't stand there and just
Right.
We really were into. We all four love music. So when we're playing, we're into it. And I've got a hip replacement, arthritis, but when I get out there, nothing. Next day, different story.
Yeah.
Different story, you guys. But I think that's what makes us different too. Is we own every song. We don't just play the song. We own the song. And if we feel that it's just playing a song, leave that for everyone else. For us, we want to own it. It's almost like a blanket for us. So we feel that when we're going down and looking at a song, we will actually say to each other, that doesn't translate well for us. And no matter how good of a song
we've dumped some good music because
great music.
It didn't translate to our band.
Yeah.
Some really good songs. We were doing All Right Now for a while, and it just didn't work with us.
Yeah. A great song.
Yeah.
But for us, it just didn't fit for us. You know?
So where can people find you social media wise or on the World Wide Web?
At the world, I know.
The World Wide Web.
I know. While we still say that, don't we?
What is this, 1992?
Yeah.
On the internet.
I saw about 19.
Yeah, do you have an IBM computer?
Those of you that
PS1, buddy.
those of you out there that are using Mosaic.
Yes.
I bet your website starts with www, does it? Okay.
Or dial in with your AOL account.
If you go to Google and type South of 30, you'll find us.
Dang, dang, dang.
So, yes, Paul, thank you for asking that question. South of 30. You could just seriously type in South 30.
That's why I'll cut all that out with when I edit this down.
Funny.
I cut out all race stuff.
No, please leave it. Please leave it. But we seriously, if you typed in www.south30band.com, it'll come up to our website.
Okay.
It has all of our dates, all our merchandise is on there. Our dates are on there. Where we played, where we're going to play, what we have. So we have email, so we get on there. We actually do reach out to people to do monthlies. So you can go on there and reach us on Facebook. You can type in South 30, and it links into Kevin Gardner, my account. So normally, I don't like having an actual band account. I know it sounds odd. It's we are a family. This is actually my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
This is my wife. This is my brother-in-law, and we're like a family band.
Right.
We're family.
And so it's kind of neat to have when we're on there as a family. So that's why if you looked at Kevin Gardner, you could also get information.
Well, we thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem.
Thank
Like
you.
I said, we're honored. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Once
you.
again, it's the South of 30 band.
Thank you very much.
Elvis and I left the building.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you
Thanks.
very
See you
much
soon.
for having us.
Thank you, guys.
So that was the South of 30 band, and Kevin sure likes to. He knows a lot about the band, doesn't he? He is the band.
He is the band. He kind of runs the band. Hopefully he knows the band because he's part of the band.
Well, yes, he is. They've been together for a couple of years as they are, but I guess him and Patrick played together for many, many years. But now they have George on drums, and
his wife Val. They've been playing for a number of years too.
right,
14, I believe. I think she's been playing keyboards for 14 years. That's what they said.
I thought they said 30 years.
No, it's 14.
Oh, 14?
14. You never say that. You never go later than 14 years.
Okay.
I've learned my lesson in the past.
14 years.
Right.
All right.
But they'll be coming out to a place near you, especially if you're south of 30.
That's right. Sometime in the next 14 years, we get to see him.
That's right. And they said they're going to be taking some time off, but I think they meant time off like during the week.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't seem like they're taking much time off.
Yeah, not during the weekends. They had a lot of gigs coming up. You check out their website, south30band.com.
It's good to see that they were playing, though. They kind of kept busy and played a lot of clubs, even during COVID. And now the clubs are paying them back.
That's right. That was really nice of them. I mean, they're trying to stay afloat, and they said, whatever you want to pay us, we'll play. That was great.
That's very cool.
Not a lot of bands who do that.
Nope. But they seem like good guys and good people. So that's what South of 30 is all about. So it should be sure and check them out. Check out their website. Check them out on Facebook, and check out the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on And Route 66 also on Facebook.
That's right. Or check out roadtorock.org. That's the website for the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, where you can buy your tickets for the Hall of Fame induction coming up on August 31st at the Rialto Theater. Or you can sign up to be a charter member or sign up to be a donor. You can be a monthly donor for $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, whatever you want. You know, support the place. This is where our studio is, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Okay. All right. Well, I plan on being there August 31st. How about you?
I do too.
Good deal.
And you know what?
I'll see you there.
It's at the Rialto, which is south of 30.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
All righty.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music that's played on this podcast.
The music is used to promote the band or musicians that are interviewed.
Rock and roll Chicago.